So a phrase you'll hear a lot in Formula 1 and in truth a lot of different racing series is left foot braking. Now if you know how to drive a car on the road, left foot braking is something you would never do. You brake with your right foot, and trust me, if you try to brake with your left foot, which I did once on a on a driving lesson, it's a very bad idea. Your left foot is a lot heavier when you're not used to using it for the brakes, but in motorsport that does come in handy. So what is left foot braking and why is it used in Formula 1? Well, left foot braking is a driving technique used in motorsports, particularly F1, where the driver uses their left foot to operate the brake pedal while simultaneously using their right foot to control the throttle. This technique is essential in modern F1 racing due to the absence of a clutch pedal, as all Formula 1 cars now utilise a paddle on the steering wheel to manually operate the clutch. So you'll often see drivers kind of holding the clutch with their right hand on their steering wheel and they'll release it like that. That's usually what you see. You also see some techniques such as what Hamilton and Russell do with the Mercedes. I think, is it the brake magic or something like that they use, where they hold the hand over the wheel like that? There's a few different ways to do it. Either way, there is a loud pedal and a quiet pedal in a Formula 1 car. There is no clutch pedal like you will see in a manual road car. The left foot braking technique allows drivers to optimize their braking performance, enabling them to brake later and more efficiently while cornering. By using their left foot to brake, drivers can more easily modulate the brake pressure, resulting in improved vehicle balance and stability. This technique is particularly advantageous in slow corners and hairpin turns, where precise braking is crucial for maintaining a fast lap time. And one of the good things as well with it too is that it allows for independent control of the braking and acceleration forces, so you're not having to move your foot from one pedal to the other like you would in a road car. Again, not a problem when you're just driving down to the shops, but when you're in a high-speed Formula 1 car trying to go as fast as humanly possible around a circuit for between 90 and 2 hours, 90 minutes and 2 hours I should say, it does make a difference. Those little differences do make a big difference overall when it comes to lap time. So it allows you to press one and then let off the other instantaneously. It's that independent control, not having to swap around all the time. But how does it work? Well, the fundamental principle behind this technique is the separation of braking from the throttle, like I just said. And by dedicating the left foot to the brake pedal and the right foot to the throttle, drivers can modulate the brake pressure without affecting the throttle input and vice versa. This level of control is crucial for optimizing cornering speed and minimizing time loss during braking. As McLaren driver Lando Norris explained a while back, left foot braking is all about feel. You need to be able to apply just the right amount of pressure to the brake pedal while also maintaining the correct throttle input. It's a delicate balance, but when you get it right, it can make a huge difference to your lap times. So like I said, the main advantages of this are the smooth transition between the throttle and the brake pedal. There's also the weight transfer as well, so by making smaller weight transfers and adjustments while cornering, drivers can help the car turn in and better maintain an optimal balance through that. There's also the sensitivity as well. There's never a time when you're not on the pedals, like your foot will always be kind of resting on the pedal without pressing it, so you've got that greater feel there. There's no time when your foot is effectively in just free air between the two pedals there. And also the consistency as well. It'll seem like an alien concept to people who have not raced, not driven go-karts for example, but when you get used to it, it is way better. It makes such a massive difference. It's something that I did when go-karting a while back. It's exhilarating, it's scary, but when you get used to it, it's fun for sure. And that kind of leads me on to the negatives of it, because it's not a perfect technique and it's not for everybody, of course, in every kind of scenario. It's harder physically on you and harder mentally too. And on the physical side of things as well, it's harder because it requires more physical effort and coordination, as drivers must use both feet independently and simultaneously, and this can lead to increased fatigue, especially during longer races. And you've also got the potential for unintended brake applications. So if a driver accidentally applies pressure to the brake pedal while still on the throttle, it can cause the car to lose speed or become unsettled, potentially leading to a loss of control. You'd wear your tires down a little bit more with that as well. On top of that, you use a bit more fuel. I mean, I remember, was it Richard Hammond on Top Gear? He drove a Renault Formula 1 car in the mid-2000s, and they were saying on the data, you got a bit of crossover there. You're pressing the brake pedal and the throttle at the same time there, and that's costing you time. And it was only for like a split second, but they picked it up on the telemetry. And like I said earlier as well, it takes some time to adapt to it, and it's also a bit of personal preference in there as well. And the thing is as well, like, not everybody's been happy with it going back. I mean, every driver does it now, I believe. I don't think there's any Formula One driver that doesn't, but drivers such as Rubens Barrichello, you know, he was not a big fan of it at first. It was something he didn't used to do, again, because, you know, back in those days with Formula One cars, when he first started and when he was going for the junior careers, they had clutch pedals, they had manual gearboxes in the cars back then, so he would have been used to that. But when he came to F1, he didn't have that. It was an automatic gearbox pretty much for everybody, and indeed it was for everybody by 95. I think was the last one that had a manual gearbox, the 40, which was not a particularly good car during that time. Barrichello said the following on it at the time as well. He said, "I was one of the last drivers to switch to left foot braking. It took me a while to adapt and feel comfortable with the technique. I had been racing with right foot braking for so long that it felt more natural to me. But once I got used to it, I could feel the advantages in terms of braking precision and car control. It's not an easy technique to master, but it's essential in modern F1, and even more so now." And I believe Johnny Herbert and Martin Brundle, definitely Herbert because of his accident, but I think both of those guys never used to do left foot braking. Johnny Herbert because of his accident, and I believe Brundle because of an accident too, perhaps. I'm not too sure, but there have been examples in relatively modern times where they haven't done it, and it has cost them time, but they were still really quick Formula One drivers at the end of the day. So yeah, there we go, guys. Left foot braking, if you're wondering what it was before, now you know. There's a full explainer article as well over on the F1Chronicle.com if you want to check that out. Please do, of course, if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll see you soon for some more F1 explainer videos, some more F1 content here on the F1Chronicle.com. Have a good one, guys, and Merry Christmas.